This is a great day for Sioux Falls. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the City of Sioux Falls to the new Denny Sanford Event Center, Premier Center. Let me share some information about the Denny Sanford Premier Center. It is a state-of-the-art facility. I don't think even that term does it justice, as you can see. It is the largest public funded facility in the history of Sioux Falls. The citizens of Sioux Falls overwhelmingly voted to approve the construction of the event center in November 8th, 2011, and that is a day and evening that a number of us will never forget. I can't even describe what that was like, and I know many of you were there. Thanks again for the support of the citizens of Sioux Falls. The Denny Sanford Premier Center is a multipurpose facility that will host many, many different types of events, including hockey, indoor football, basketball, rodeos, concerts, and so much more. The facility has tremendous amenities, featuring 3 clubs, and offers premium seating, private suites, loge boxes, and club seats. The grand opening concert will take place on October 3rd, 2014, for the invocation by Reverend Julius Badigo of the Falls Community Church. Reverend.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Our Heavenly Father, I give you thanks and praise for the wonderful work you did in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. May you continue to do this great job that you started. May you bless our city and the city council and our mayor and give them wisdom. I give you great thanks for the Denny Sanford Premier Center to remember what the Holy One has done and give him thanks. God, may you bless this special moment. These are the moments when we just want to thank God for the good things he has done and praise God for this mighty building. In Christ's wonderful name, I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. This time, I'd like to introduce Dean Karski, who is chair of the Sioux Falls City Council and a counselor from the Northwest District. Dean?
Thank you, Evan. Today we are celebrating our success as a community that after many years came together and stated that we need another jewel in our crown. Every year, year after year, another 3,000 people call Sioux Falls home. And while a new job may bring them here, many times their decision to move here is based on the answer to the question, what makes Sioux Falls a great place to live? After all, we are one of the most livable cities in the country. We take great pride in all of the many amenities that our community offers with our beautiful parks, the Washington Pavilion, our bike trails, the Sertoma Butterfly House, our zoo, and our countless variety of dining options, and so on. But the greatest amenity that we have is all of you. You are what make our community great. The Denny Sanford Premier Center is our newest and best, and we have every right to be proud of what it represents. It is our house. It is our house, and it will be where we host guests from the region, the country, and the world. Every year, this structure will bring hundreds of thousands of visitors through its doors, and I'm positive that when people walk in, their first impression will be like mine. Wow. Sioux Falls, be proud of yourselves, your community, and your house. It will be enjoyed for generations to come. Enjoy the celebration We deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Councilor Karski. At this time, I'd like to introduce Jim Entenman, former city councilor. And as you can see, look at the dress, looking good. Woohoo! Jim is representing the coalition of citizens that supported the construction of this event center. Build it now. Jim Entenman.
Wow. And that's really about all I really have to say. Do you believe it? We're finally here. Ever since beginning of construction of this facility, Mayor Huther and I have talked about the day when construction would finally be done and the Denny Sanford Premier Center would open to the public. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and I had to pinch myself just to make sure that day is here. And of course, then I had to dress for it. Of course, my wife gets upset about that, but it's really still very hard to believe. A couple of weeks ago, I was asked if I would be willing to make a few comments at this ribbon-cutting ceremony, and of course I said yes. But then the memories and the emotions of this journey rushed into my head. I remembered 2004 and being asked by then Mayor Munson to serve on a task force of community partners to study the feasibility and the community needs of an event center and recreation center. And I remembered my disappointment when the voters rejected the recreation center proposal at the 2005 election. I remembered the 2007 proposal put forward by leaders of our business community, a proposal that died because of community disinterest. I remembered again being asked in 2008 to serve yet on a second task force of community partners, this time to be chaired by my good friends Jim Wooster and Terry Balloon. And again, I said yes. And for over a year, we studied the community needs and benefits of a new event center. And I remember the presentation the task force made to the Sioux Falls City Council on December of 2009. It was that presentation, I believe, that would become the foundation of the call to action that would ultimately lead to the construction of this unbelievable facility. Early in 2010, I remember thinking to myself and discussing with my wife, Jill, the need to provide our children and grandchildren with future quality of life opportunities. I remember talking about my wanting to have a voice in building a community for them. And we talked about transitioning our community to the future generations. We agreed our family needed to be more involved in the city, and I ran for the city council. All of us that year that ran for election, that year including councilors Michelle Erpenbach, Sue Aguilar, Rex Rolfing, and Mayor Huther, supported moving ahead with building a new event center. I would like to thank each of you for your vision. And Mayor Huther, thank you for your leadership. Mike, maybe someday you and I can get together and write the book. It's one heck of a story, and people would really be interested in it. Once the council voted on the site and set the date for the election, the heavy lifting really began. And I'd like to thank my friends Michael Bender and Evan Nolte and the co-chairs of the Build It Now Sioux Falls organization for stepping forward and leading the charge to build your event center. They knew that if Sioux Falls was ever going to have a new event center, it was going to take a lot of work, a lot of money, and a sacrifice on their part to get out the vote. I would like to recognize the co-chairs of Build It Now Sioux Falls, and I know almost all of them are here tonight, or this afternoon. Nikki Ellabrook of McNally's Irish Pub, Dr. Charles O'Brien from Sanford Health, Alan Amdahl from Amdahl Construction, Dr. Dave Kapaska from Avera Health, Tom Kelly of Gage Concrete, and Mike Sullivan of the Sioux Falls Sports Authority. They led the charge, and the battle was won. In my opinion, their efforts resulted in the most successful campaign ever conducted in the city of Sioux Falls. The voter turnout was one of the largest the city has ever seen, with almost 60% of the voters approving the plan to build a new $115 million, 12,000-seat event center. Thank you, Build It Now, Sioux Falls, and thank you, citizens of Sioux Falls.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you to all of the people that worked in the coalition, Build It Now, and many, many others. This time, I'd like to introduce our dynamic mayor, Mike Huther. Mike.
Theodore Roosevelt's famous quote, "The man in the arena," is one of my favorites. The credit belongs to those people who are actually in the arena, who know the great enthusiasm, the great devotions to a worthy cause, who at best know the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst fail while daring greatly, so that their place shall never be with the cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. We are gathered at our new event center today. This cause has certainly taken longer than the 2 years it has taken to build it, and yes, much, much longer than the 4.5 years that I've served you. We must remember the leaders, the stewards, the public servants that laid such a solid foundation, and yes, indeed, built momentum so that this long-awaited dream could be realized. Task force members, business leaders, Jim Wooster, Terry Balloon, Mayor Dave Munson, and countless others. They were in the arena. The citizens of this city, they needed to understand, the rationale on such an expensive investment like this, such as, quality of life, economic development, those wins that would occur if we would only replace that aging 50-year-old Sioux Falls arena. In our town, our business community, I'll tell you, they compete for customers at just a rabid level. But when it comes to improving our city and creating confidence in its people, these business leaders, they work as one. Dr. Dave Kapaska of Avera and Dr. Charles O'Brien of Sanford. They provided this example, and soon, Build It Now, those volunteers, those donors, the Chamber of Commerce, and countless others joined in. They were all in the arena. The citizens of Sioux Falls, all of you truly became engaged in this topic. Of course, hey, there were some tenuous and challenging moments indeed, but in this city and in this state, you can agree to disagree, but guess what? We're still neighborly, we're still respectful of the process. Way back on Tuesday, November 8th, 2011, 40,089 voters cast their ballot, and they created the largest voter turnout in this city's history. They followed through with their right to vote. That sadly, more and more Americans right now, they take for granted. 23,283 Sioux Falls citizens, they voted yes that day. Thank goodness. Later that day, the city celebrated as one. on the floor of the Sioux Falls Arena with my friend and Councilor Jim Entman at my side, I said, "It is indeed a great time to be a citizen of Sioux Falls, South Dakota." Yes, this entire city was in the arena, but those 40,089 citizens that made the effort to vote, no matter if they voted yes or they voted no, they should be commended. As your mayor, I have received too much credit at times. Without some incredible women and men in the battle with me, this new event center would still be a dream. It's a great time to acknowledge a citizen advisory team that provided valuable coaching, strategic advice, and yes, guts behind the scenes. A book should definitely be written on the twists and turns that we faced. These leaders step up time and time again. Michael Bender, David Knutson, Kevin Lampe, Rob Oliver, Nathan Peterson. These men were in the arena. Public service, I'll tell you, it is rewarding, but the sacrifices are many. There has been no other issue that has created such media attention, such scrutiny, the phone calls, the emails, the face-to-face visits for a city council. Imagine the lost hours of sleep and, yes, the anxiety for these caring servants. Sue Aguilar, Michelle Erpenbach, Kermit Staggers, Greg Jameson, Bob Litz, Vernon Brown, all were in the arena. All of Sioux Falls, you need to appreciate that we would not be here today if not for 4 city councilors that believed in the plan, they believed in the cause, and for some reason, they believed in me. No matter what the attacks and the toil on them, and folks, you have to realize, their families too. They thought the time was right. They thought the business plan was sound, and they thought the risks were going to be worth it. I won't ever forget these 4 valiant warriors that were in the arena. City Councilor Jim Entman, City Councilor Dean Karski, City Councilor Kenny Anderson Jr., City Councilor Rex Rolfing. This $117 million event center was built on time. It was built within budget. And 85% of the workers that built it, they're from Sioux Falls or from this area. Grandpas, dads, moms, brothers, sisters, they beam with pride. And oh my, they should. 2 years to build it, up to 225 workers at one time on one day. And guess what? Only 2 lost time injuries. I'm going to repeat that. Only 2 lost time injuries. Our city engineering team of Terry Van Dyke, Shannon Verhey, and Robbie Verink, they made their mark. Architects, St. Combs Detlefs and Coke Hazard Architects, folks, they have designed a masterpiece. And the dedicated and always working Mortensen Construction, they rallied the team day after day. We committed to operating this venue in the black, and because of a one-of-a-kind public-private partnerships, we will meet that commitment. Premier Bank Card, First Premier Bank, and Sanford Health, and yes, their head cheerleader, T. Denny Sanford, they led the way, as they so often do in Sioux Falls and in South Dakota. They were not alone. Folks, when you walk inside here, pay special attention inside this show place and recognize and thank 30 others that stepped up as well. All of these businesses stepped into the arena because they care about your quality of life in a major, major way. And finally, for at least the next 50 years, young and old, rich or poor, black or white, they're going to enter these doors and they're going to create memories. I only wish that all of these folks could know and then comprehend what 9 very special Sioux Falls City employees did to get this done. Of course, that is impossible. They won't know. But I will. Kendra Simmonsma, Mark Cotter, Darren Smith, Mike Cooper, Tracy Turback, Karen Leonard, Dave Fifley, Heather Hitterdahl, and Julie Wilson, your city team. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, we celebrate a major victory today. This has been a very worthy cause. And I thank God. I thank my beautiful bride, Cindy, my amazing daughter, Kylie. And finally, the citizens of this town called Sioux Falls. I am very blessed to serve all of you. Hey, Sioux Falls, let's cut us a ribbon and celebrate our new event center.
Thank you, Mayor Huther. Very moving. Thank you so much. We have a special presentation now. Dana Dykhouse, who is the CEO of First Premier Bank and our chair-elect of the Sioux Falls Area Chamber of Commerce, will make the presentation. Dana?
Thank you very much, Evan, and welcome to everyone. I'm wearing a couple of hats today. I want to take just a moment of time and explain each one of those hats. Of course, it's an honor to be the chair-elect of our Chamber of Commerce, and I'll do my official duty with that. But today I'm also wearing the hat of being part of the sponsorship team. And I wanted to share one thought with everyone in this room today about the gentleman whose name is on this arena, Denny Sanford. You know, most men, when they achieve the financial success of someone like Mr. Sanford, buy things like an island in the Caribbean, or they buy an NFL team. He's probably glad he didn't do that right now. But that's what they do with their money. Well, Denny Sanford has decided not to. Denny Sanford has invested his money in all of us. He has invested over $1 billion of his money back in South Dakota. That's why his name is on this arena. Denny understands the possibilities that South Dakotans see happen every day. And we are honored to be part of it with our partners at Sanford Health, First Premier Bank, and Premier Bank Card. My partner Miles Beacom for so many years helped make this happen. That's important. The second hat that I wear is one of those committee members. Mayor Mike, I think I served on 3 of the 4. And I see many of those citizens out there today. And you know, it took a huge effort, over 10 years of discussions, of late night meetings, of early morning breakfasts, of coming together in this community, got it done. And I think while we've said thank you, I'd like to one more time say thank you to all those volunteers, because at the end of the day, they came together to move this project forward. They did an outstanding job. Everyone that volunteered on all 4 of those task force, on all of those committees, give them one more round of applause. And finally, we've thanked an army today, because it did take an army, and I'm looking at an army out here, an army of citizens that made this happen, an army of citizens that will be so proud of this, an army of citizens that will take their kids and grandkids, as Jim said, and be proud of this facility. But every great army needs a leader, one with passion, one with commitment, one whose time was right. We had the right leader at the right time. Mike Huther, Mayor Mike, you have done a wonderful job leading this army. Let's give him one more round of applause. He deserves it. Mayor Mike, you used that great Roosevelt quote about being in the arena. That's a great quote. But we got several hundred people here who aren't in the arena yet. And they want to get in that arena. They've been standing here a long time. So without any further ado, let's all move over. Let's cut this ribbon and get all these people in that arena.